on my buttons with no hesitation. Gas me up, give me motivation. So tell me where we come, pick a destination. Gas me up, give me motivation.
High volume, high volume, high volume, high volume.
Oh, it's just
I feel like a bird. You keeping me happy, you getting me deep. Ask me who my surgeon.
Gotta say the word, keep getting me what I'm looking for. I just gotta tell everybody, I don't wanna keep it on the low. Goddamn, I love her. I love her. Goddamn, I love her.
Hey guys, what is poppin'? It's your girl Twana, NKT, whatever it's been the day, and I am back with another video. If you're new here, then welcome. We talk about everything growing and glowing in this series, so if that is your vibe, definitely subscribe to the channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for tuning in to another one of my videos. I love you so much. So a part of my growing and glowing series, not only are we focusing on growing and glowing internally, but we are also focusing on growing and glowing externally. And this is why I brought you a soft glam video today. So this is perfect for everybody who is a beginner, who wants a soft glam to run their errands or even go to work. This is what I look like when I go to work. I can't care because I'm gonna look cute for work. I'm a corporate babe. Fight me. But yeah, so if you are intrigued on how I got this look with no cream blush, no cream contour, no concealer, then stay tuned for the video. Okay guys, so as you can see, this is my face with literally nothing on it. This is it bare. The only thing obviously that is already added, as you can see, is my eyelash extensions. I do get eyelash extensions done, but this soft glam look can work for both with and without lashes because I have done it with both. So the choice is completely up to you. You don't have to be wearing lashes for this or put on strips. It's up to you. So there is no cream products in this 95% of the time. The only cream we're going to be using is the concealers underneath our eyebrows. Apart from that, everything else is just powder based because I feel like for my soft glam, I don't want it to be too much. I don't want it to be too dramatic. I want it to be soft, and I feel like I can achieve that best with no cream. You can still do a soft glam with creams. It's just when I'm running down the road and I'm going to work, I don't feel like I need all of those layers on my face. So if you are still interested in that, let's just dive right in. So I always start up with preparation of my skin. So as you can see, it basically looks hydrated right now, and that's because I did my skincare and my skin is now moisturized. Once I've kind of let my skincare and my moisturizer soak into my skin, I then go in with primer. I use the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. You guys know this has been trending everywhere and everybody has been using it. It's been big and I can't lie, it's valid. Like the hype of it is so valid, and this is coming from someone who never used to believe in primers. So from someone who never used to believe in primers to religiously using a primer now, I get the hype. Like I get why this power, like it grips. It grips. Like, and I literally put this everywhere all over my skin. There is two types. There is the normal one and then there's the one with the niacinamide. I buy either or. I just buy whatever's available in the store. I actually have the niacinamide one, so this is what it looks like. It's just the pink one. So it just adds extra skin benefits, but it still does the same job. It still holds and grips your makeup. And you guys know was always going to do the test on this video. There we go. We set our primers, everything is done. So typically at this stage, what I would do is go in with color corrector, and I usually use the NYX Pro Stick Concealer. This is what it looks like. Comes with a clear top, and I am using the color number 13 Cappuccino. So I do have a few dark marks on my face. You guys might be able to see them. They are fading more and more because I am doing what is necessary to take care of my skin. But basically what I do, I just go in wherever I see a dark mark and just conceal it really, and it's just basically to cover it up. That's it. If you don't have any dark marks or anything you want to cover up, then you're good to go. You don't need to worry about color correcting. I also like to go above my lip because I sometimes feel like it does look dark underneath there, so I do also go above there. But apart from that, sometimes I might go in the corner here as well. That's literally it. So whilst that's drying, because I don't like to set that in my face, I will then go in with my eyebrow preparation. I'm using the e.l.f. brow laminating gel, again from e.l.f. and I never used to laminate my brows. I actually got into this from Jordan. I saw her doing it and I said, okay, I want to level up my eyebrows this year, so I invested in this and I actually have been enjoying it. I've had it for like 2 to 3 months now and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, what you kind of want to do is just like basically sculpt your brows. So, and I apologize in advance for the non-eye contact in this video, but yeah, I just push my brows up and like use all the product. It does leave like a white cast, however it does dry clear. You might get some on your skin, which is why it's always good to do this first prior your foundation. I then kind of just use my finger and do it like that. Does that make sense? And I'll probably do the same for this side. You don't have to use your finger. I just tend to use my finger because it's my face. But yeah, so that kind of just helps my brows to stay set. So after I've done that, I then will start to press in the concealer. So like in pressing motions, I'm not swiping or anything, I'm literally pressing it into my skin, pressing all the concealer that I previously put on my face to correct my dark marks. So yeah, just kind of going in with that just to make sure it's a nice and basically set, kind of like it's just pushed into the skin, if that makes sense. 'Cause you know what's on my mind, so some key makeup tips that I have taken away that's helped me to level up my makeup was, one, you guys really need to figure out what skin type you have. This will help to know what kind of products to buy for your skin. Your influencers and everybody you see, including myself, don't have the same skin tone, and if you do, it's easier because you can literally use the same products. But if you don't, bear in mind that product might not work as well on your face because your skin is different. So please take what you can and apply it to your situation. I feel like that's very, very key because a lot of people try to get the exact same makeup as their like people on YouTube and influencers and stuff like that. And my biggest take was you can't. Your face and their skin is different. Master your own face, but take the tips and tricks that work and apply it to your face. So for me, I have normal skin. So there is 4 types of skin types, I believe. So you have oily skin, you have dry skin, you have combination skin, and you have normal skin. To figure out what kind of skin you have, all you have to kind of do is apply water to your bare face and then let the water dry. Once the water is dry, if your skin starts to feel dry, you have dry skin. If your skin starts to get oily, then you have oily skin. If you have like places of your face that are still dry but then you get like oily on your nose, then you have combination skin. And then if neither or happens, you have normal skin. So I've done the test a couple times and I fall into the normal skin category. By the way, I'm now going in with foundation. So this is the Maybelline Lumi-Matte foundation in the color 350. These will also be all linked in the description, and I will put the names and colors on the screen as well so you guys know. So yeah, it's just best to kind of figure out what skin you have, because if you have like dry skin, buying matte foundation might not be the best for you because it's going to make your skin even more dry. You most likely would have to hydrate your face prior to using that kind of makeup. So it's just really, really good, and it'll be easier to find like content creators who have that kind of skin to give you that advice. Like I said, I have normal skin, so I can't speak on oily or dry or combination skin because I don't have that. So yeah, I feel like that's the first important makeup tip that I took away that's helped me to level up my makeup in the past year. I don't really put foundation on my forehead anymore. I used to, but I don't like take a whole pump. I just use whatever's left from applying this. I really like this foundation because it gives like a soft, like gloomy, which is in the name, but it gives like this glow. It's not too much. It kind of gives skin, like, and I won't lie, the color match is actually pretty good. So if you guys are a similar tone of me, 350 might work for you. And I've always been a fan of Maybelline from Fit Me. Maybelline Fit Me, oh, the goat, the absolute goat. After I've kind of like done my foundation, funny enough, my face is actually darker than my neck, so I have to like bring my makeup down to kind of make sure it all looks one. Like if you look at my chest, it's actually lighter than my face, whereas like, a lot of people have it the other way around where their face is lighter than their neck. So whichever one is you have, just make sure you always go for the darker shade. So if your neck is darker, match your neck and not your face, because it's gonna look crazy that you've got like this light face and then your neck is darker. So definitely bear that in mind. And if you're the other way around, same applies. You don't want like a dark face and then your neck's really light. So take what applies to you. What's that saying called? Take the sense out of the nonsense. Even though I'm not chatting nonsense. So yeah, after this, I then go in with some concealer around my eyebrows. My old ways, I would apply this directly, but what I've started to do is just put it on the back of my hand and get a brush and carve my brows. I think that the application works better and it's just, you have more control. Sorry, I'm just looking for the concealer brush. I typically like to go in with a flat brush, and this is, let me just make sure I say it right. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, the white lid. Apparently, this is the GOAT concealer for drugstore. We're going to find out because I was previously using the NYX one. It's not rubbish or anything. I'm just trying to find the concealer that works best for me. And I don't know how I feel. I feel like it doesn't give me full coverage. That's what it is. And I kind of like a full coverage kind of concealer. So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly go in under my brows and just kind of like shape that there. And I'm not really gonna blend it at this stage because I kind of want it to sit. Yeah, so I try not to take it to the front too much, but either or doesn't really matter because the bronzer is gonna cover this. So really and truly, it's kind of like up to you. So that kind of just helps me to sculpt out my brows. And as you can see, this one has a natural higher raise. So I do sometimes try to carve that into this one just by kind of going over with the concealer. So anyway, I'm going to let this sit for a little bit. And then now I am going to go into the bronzers and the powdered blush. Typically, I like to go in the bronzer first because it helps me to kind of sculpt out my face. So I am using the NYX Buttermelt bronzer. If I can find the color, it is the BMB06 Dew Butter. Again, I will link all of these in the description so you guys can check them out. So kind of what I do is, I know it's like an old school tactic, but again, if you are a beginner and you are still trying to learn your face, finding the placement is very, very key, and this kind of helps me to find mine. So I just like suck in my lips and follow that round like that.
Goes in that bitch head. She says she don't fuck with me. Who say that you can't hold? That nigga munching, he gon' eat me like a mango. Long ass streets, it be tickling my ass crack. Wonder what I do tomorrow.
So can you see how that is just like naturally bringing warmth back into my face? That's kind of what you want with a bronzer. And the key difference to remember between a bronzer and a contour is that a bronzer is to kind of provide like a warm contouring, you could say, to your face, whereas like a contour is for like shadows and to add more depth. So that's why sometimes contour can come across quite harsh, whereas a bronzer can come off quite soft. So for me, as again, because we are doing a soft glam, I will be focusing more on this. I don't really have a contour to before. I just like the bronzer look, and if that is you, then you should do the same. If you do ever feel like you've taken too much product, especially if you're new, don't be afraid to use the back of your hand and like brush the excess off. I do that a lot, especially if I'm scared, particularly with my blush, because my blush is very pigmented. I don't want like no crazy blush that doesn't suit my face. So again, just bronze all the places that you want to do. You can do under your chin. I do under my chin because again, I want that fully warm look on my face. Now that we've left the concealer on my eyebrows to set for a while, I'm now going to go in and just like blend this out. This just helps me to give me a full coverage under eye. I feel like this would be great if you're going to do shadows. However, I'm not. I just want my eyebrows to be sleek because I feel like eyebrows are like a big statement for me. Your eyebrows speak volumes, and I like my eyebrows to be snatched. But yeah.
Lumberjack, they really get me fucked up, and now I'm going for none of that. She the type of nigga make a mess, she going too some. Me, I'm kinda ratchet still, so I'm the type of beast, huh? I can't love you, baby, like your bitch do, so don't leave.
Okay. So if you was to go in with eyeshadow at this point, you would set your eyebrows, but because I'm not, I'm literally just gonna take a bit more of my bronzer and just kind of like sculpt here and here to kind of add this little shadow depth under my eye. Again, I got this from Notori. I saw it in one of her videos on TikTok, and I've just been doing it since. I literally just been copying her since because I like the effect it does. I also copied her wolfy kind of effect where she kind of goes in here, which is why I told you the concealer doesn't really matter if it does come to the front of your brows, because you are gonna add bronzer at this stage anyway. You can like bring the bronzer all the way if you feel like it, but I feel like that I like to still have like a highlight under my brows, so I don't do too much, but I think that is gonna do. Okay, so enough bronzing for now. The next thing I want to do is go in with my Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder. I like this because it gives like a natural like under eye, so it's not too brightening, which I think works perfectly for one, work, and two, a soft glam if you're not trying to do too much. So I just get a powder puff and dip it in there and put it under my eyes. I do this before the powdered blush because I kind of want to set the foundation that's underneath, because obviously that's a cream, and then I'll put the powder blush on top, if that makes sense. So I just tap my powder puff into the thing, and then I tap the excess off, and then I just kind of go in like you would and kind of like press that under your eye. Again, there is no major creams in here, so no cream blushes, no concealer under the eye, and no cream bronzers. Again, this is a soft glam look for like every day, and we want to look cute but we don't want to do too much, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can do a bit of both. Another makeup tip that really helped me on my makeup journey as well is understanding your undertone. I feel like that is such a key step, which will stop you from having like your foundation looking too orange or too grey. I feel like it's so key, and it will help you to figure out which foundations you should be buying. I have a neutral undertone, which basically means I am mixed with both warm and cool. The way I figured this out was, one, the warm foundations were always too orange for me, but also I found out by looking up the veins under my wrist, they say if you have green veins you have a warm undertone, if you have blue veins you have a cool blue or purple veins you have a cool undertone, and if you have a mixture of both, like green and blue or green and purple, you are neutral. And that's what I have. Under my wrist I have both green and blue veins, so I believe I am a neutral babe. However, I do feel like I do slide into the warm neutral side more than the cool. I feel like once you kind of understand your neutral undertone, oh my god, you could take your makeup to the next level, because you will stop buying like the wrong foundations for yourself and you will start buying everything that's right for you. So yeah, basically with this you just want to set everywhere that your foundation was, and my pressed powder is close to my skin tone. I usually get 350, but this is in the color 220. I don't know what it is, but 350 is so fucking hard to get in store. I'm in the UK, by the way. I had 350 before, and when I mean it was like a color match, it was like as you know, my Maybelline foundation is 350. So whenever I did the soft powder, it basically just made my foundation set, if that makes sense. Whereas this one is like a tad light. It's not crazy light, so it gives me like this soft kind of highlight to my face, as you guys can like see already. Again, after this, the next step I will go in with is blush, and I'm using the NYX Buttermelt blush, and this is in BMBL08 Getting Butter. With this bit I get scared I'm gonna be so honest, because this blush is so pigmented. So what I do, I like to dab and then like swirl any excess off on my wrist, and then I go in with soft dabs. You want to add it in between your bronzer and your pressed powder. Even then, like, that looks a bit harsh, so trying to combine the two, I'm just gonna quickly go back in. Another tip that I learned, Uche taught me this, is blend. That you can never blend too much. You want everything to kind of look seamless. So yeah, once I've kind of tapped off the excess, I then kind of like just start to dab like that. So yeah, as you can see, it's starting to show, and I like this because, especially as a beginner, you start small and it's very buildable. Like, you can start to build it up to the level that you want. So again, you just would go back in, swipe off any excess, and then you would literally just press. And like, you want to kind of slightly take it up towards the side of your eye and to the broad of your cheeks. Again, I tend to put a little bit extra here because I am going to go over this with setting powder, just to give me a more subtle under eye. I do like the brighter under eye. But yeah, this is kind of what I would do, and I'll just make sure that this is like all blended together, taking the excess of the bronzer and blending, like merging the two together. So again, if you guys can see, this is what it's looking like so far. So before I even go in with any more, what I like to do is set this already, because I'm actually quite happy with this. So I like to use a setting spray, which is the NYX Matte Finish setting spray. So I'll just quickly spray this on my face. And then whilst that's drying, I then will go in and do my eyebrows. I use like a gel-like substance for my brows, and this is from Sleek. I don't know if Sleek is available in the States, and basically what I do, I just kind of like fill in with like hair-like strokes. I do not do the harsh drawing on. That is like so, I don't know, 2000 2016, 2010, I don't know. So I'm just gonna kind of go close up for you guys, but I'm gonna look at this mirror here and I'm kind of just gonna do like hair like strokes, especially like in the places where the concealer might have got onto the hairs. So this is just to add a little bit of definition to my brows. And if you do mess up, don't worry, you can always go back in and correct it. So can you see like the before and after? It just adds like a bit more definition without it looking too crazy. If you have like any little patches as well, just kind of like fill it in, just so that it looks like whole. You guys see that? Oh, that's a beautiful brow. And you can do the same for the next side.
All in the mall with a wreck. Roll with us if you really want to get it. Go get a $500,000 in a Sprinter. Phone ringing, bitches know a big temple. I got the hook up and there really no limit. Derek focus in you nigga DNA. Ricky smell is
a bit too dense. I probably went too harsh with the thing. So what I'll do is just use the rear end and I'll just like fluff it out, just so that it looks more like a natural brow. It still looks a little bit too dense for me, so I'm just gonna fluff it out some more. Okay, and that's my brows done. So before we kind of like wrap this up, I'm going to go back in with some more bronzer just to make sure that everything is melted together and everything looks seamless. I am probably not using the right brushes, so please do not ask me. Like, a lot of my brushes are from like Amazon and like Shein. Like, I don't have any real name branded makeup brushes. I ain't gonna lie to you, like I don't. So yeah, I'm just gonna go back in wherever I feel like I want to add that warmth back, particularly here in the corner. I feel like it does tend to fade, and back in my eye. So yeah, this one's a bit more angled, so it's easy for me to kind of just go in here and just kind of like warm my eye here. Just, it kind of adds like a little shadow depth that I like. And I'll go down my bridge with this. Oh, there we go. Okay, so, and I will probably just go back in with a little bit more blush. I haven't dapped it back in, I'm just literally adding whatever's left on the brush already. And can you guys see that it's starting to come together? Okay, so next, this is why I was saying, like, if you are going to go a bit heavy, like, it's best to go a bit heavy before, because the next step, if this works for you, you can literally just set your face. But again, I like the brighter under eye, so I will be going in with the the Beauty Crop Vitamin Braid Setting Powder. This is just to set my under eyes, because again, your girlie likes a bright under eye. So you want to dab it in your pot, and again, you want to tap off any excess before, because you don't want to do too much. Less is better than more, because you can always add more, but you can't take away if you put too much. So again, I like to go down the side of my nose and drag it up like that. Yep, just like that. I know this looks scary, but you gotta wait and let it come together. So another makeup tip that's really helped me level up my makeup in the last year is be mindful of who like you choose to listen to in terms of makeup influencers. I'm not saying like people are lying, but just because you see a look work on someone's face, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work on yours, and you need to be okay with that. Try to find people of like a similar skin tone or skin type that could influence you. That doesn't mean like people of other races or other skin tones cannot influence you, because for example, Gloria, I love her makeup, I love everything about her look. She's so beautiful, but we are not the same skin tone, so the colors she recommends I could never try on my skin tone, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm more closer to someone like Uche. I feel like we are of a similar level, so the colors she would recommend I could try, like in terms of concealers and foundations. I could use her as a reference, if that makes sense. So try to find people of a similar skin tone, because then you will know, especially if it's your first time buying makeup, where to kind of start, and at least from there you can grow. If you go to like influencers that are way too light or way too dark, like you haven't really got that guidance there. However, there's nothing wrong, again, with following people of a different skin complexion, because I also follow Jordan. Jordan is much fairer than myself, but I love the techniques that she applies to her face. The techniques she uses on her own face, I just take it and apply to my face where I can. However, I wouldn't go and buy her concealers or her foundations because we're not the same skin tone. It also goes with skin type. She's a very, is she oily? Yeah, she's an oily babe. I can't remember if she's oily or matte. I can't remember if she's oily or dry, but she's one of them. Whereas like me, I'm neutral. I'm normal skin tone, as I already mentioned in this video. So it's also important to remember that. I think Uche's combination skin tone. So again, certain things that she applies to her face works for her face. So really educate yourself on like your face and everything. And I think you will start to see that your face will just level up. So yeah, as you guys can see, I am just like taking whatever's left on my brush to just kind of brighten up the other areas. Again, this step is optional, you don't have to do it, but if you want like that bright under eye like me, then definitely do it. So again, I'm just gonna carve. This just helped to give me more of a snatch look, but we're gonna blend it in. I don't think I'm gonna stay like this because I'm really not. Scary. So what I like to do is go back into my pressed powder at this stage, because again, it's closer to my skin tone, and kind of just like blend it all together basically. So wherever I put that pressed powder, I am gonna just add this Maybelline Fit Me Poreless powder on top, and this, I want it to help give me more of like a seamless look. And again, can you guys see I am looking kind of a little bit ashy? So do you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go back in with a little bit more bronzer to bring that warmth back into my face. And this is kind of what happens. Sometimes I get it spot on the first time, and sometimes I don't. And you just gotta go back in product by product and do whatever works for you. And I like a very bronze kind of face. So again, this is what works for me. All right, so again, now that I'm kind of like happy with my face, what I would then to do is then set. I don't do any eyeshadow or eyeliner in my soft glam. That's optional. If you want to do that, you can, but I don't. So yeah. Cool. So this is just to help bring everything together. I also like to, because I've used a lot of like matte products here and a lot of powders which can make your face look really dry, I do like the Beauty Crop Cherie Hydrating Dual Face Setting Mist. I'm telling you, if your face is like a tad bit cakey, all you need is a little bit of this. I'm telling you, like a little bit of this. I tend to just spray it on the sides of my face because I do want the center to remain matte. So that's just kind of what I'm gonna do now. So I'm kind of just gonna, just like that. And this will bring back that hydration to your face. Another mist that I think is really, really good that I like is the Dewy Bounce Set and Seal Mist from Beauty Crop again. I think this is really good to like really set in and lock everything in where it existing is. So, and we are gonna let that dry. So whilst that's drying, I am then going to focus on my lips. So for lip liner, I'm using the NYX Vivid Rich Mechanical Liner. I like it because this is so creamy. When I mean so creamy, I mean so creamy. So I'm just gonna literally like, you got some high hopes. It literally just melts that butter on your lips. Liner done. So I like to then go in with a butter gloss, NYX again. I like to do the pink one because obviously I've got pink blush on today, so I will definitely be doing this. I'm not a lipstick girly, I ain't gonna lie, and I kind of want to try out some lipsticks this year. But again, we will see, and you guys will come with me on that journey, of course. So again, if I was going into the office, I wouldn't do the gloss like this lining. I would probably just put on some lip oil, and I do use the NYX lip oil. But if I was like going to run some errands and I wanted to look a little cute, I would definitely stick with the I will stick with this gloss. This would be my go-to. Ooh. The wheels will fall off. Time is ticking, it's taking you too long. Right before I decide to go.